r/ask Reddit. What is your mom's catchphrase? Whenever my sister or I would complain about doing chores, what do you think you are? Just a souvenir of a good time? It took me years to figure that one out. When I would complain about chores, or when my parents asked me to do something, my mom would say, well, why else do you think we had a kid? Go play with your brother. That's why we had him. Wake up, kids, it's 7:55. Narrator. It was actually 7:20. Does she set her clocks forward about 15 minutes to make herself leave early so she's never late? I recently had a battery die in my car, and during that time the time on the clock became way off. I've been driving with the clock set to this random wrong time for 2 months because it keeps me on edge and I think I'm always running late. I have to love you. I don't have to like you. Also, gasping and stomping at an imaginary front passenger brake pedal. Oh, and the frantic grab at the oh shit handle, which is hilarious when your car doesn't have one. When you're going 5 over the speed limit and or she sees the slightest turn. People do what makes sense to them. This is actually a very good one to look at things from the other person's perspective. It hurts when I do this. Stop doing it then. Nurse parents are the worst at sympathy. OMG. Heard this one so much when I was younger. Also, when me or my siblings fell, come over, I'll pick you up. My mom's actually a savage. Are your ears painted on? Semicolon anytime I wasn't listening. Oh, I'm tucking this one away for future use. This is a good one. My mother is genuinely a mild, tolerant soul, so when she would catch a bad mood, we kids thought she was hilarious. My dad, clueless as always, had an uncanny ability to bring out her best lines. Dad, what's for dinner, honey? Mom, hot shit on toast, our specialty. And I'm sure your peals of laughter were like a choir of sirens pushing her toward madness, making her angrier/funnier. She's been signing all her texts XOXO, Gossip Mom, since the show was popular in 2008. This is adorable. Every time I left the house, my mother would say in a kind of sing-song, upbeat voice, don't speak to any strange men. My grandma would say stay away from the boys. Posted this a few days ago, but when I was being a brat, my mom's favorite phrase was, name. Copernicus called, you're not the center of the universe. My dad used to say there is a world that revolves around you. It's not this one. I like your mom's style though. Whenever we're out and about, I find myself constant reminding my kids, there are other people in the world, mostly because they have a tendency to walk, run, and flail around with no awareness or concern for complete strangers, or even solid objects, that they could potentially crash into. Could you do me a huge favor? Yeah, sure. What? Could you put that glass in the sink? Sometimes mine says do me a flavor. My aunt always says I'll give you a $1,000 if you bring me. Insert random object. I'll be there in 30 minutes. 3 hours later, arrives. Compounded by the I just need 2 things when they went to the shops. Took 2 hours. And came back with a filled trolley. Will this matter in 5 years? No. Get over it. Asian mother growing up. Don't make baby. Which at some point overnight, even when I was single, turned into, where my grandbaby. My mother is not Asian but totally this. Sometime in my early 20s it was like a switch flipped. Now she is constantly asking, insinuating. Failure to plan on your part does not constitute an emergency on my mind. While it was so annoying as a kid, I really use it as an adult when someone pisses me off due to their own poor planning. Is your mom a teacher? Because mine said the same exact thing and I wonder if that's where it came from. You're probably just tired, was her answer to almost anything. Why does my head hurt? Why does my stomach hurt? Why am I so sad? I can't figure out this question in my homework. Can you help me? Thing is, she was probably almost always right. The go-to for my mom every time I felt bad was, are you tired or thirsty? 90% of the time a glass of water or a nap cleared things up. It's insane how mild dehydration and mild sleep deprivation can actually take a serious toll. Listen to me now and believe me later. Man, my parents said a lot of things that turned out to be right. The older I get, the more right they were. They must never know. She would say God bless America as an expletive. Scary at the time. Hilarious in retrospect. That's to prevent goddamn it. Source. I do that myself. Every time we went on vacation when we started complaining she would yell we are making memories. Are you bleeding? Are you broken? Are you dead? You're fine. Always remember your 6 P's. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. It applies to absolutely everything. Long story short, generally used like this. So yesterday we went to the store. Long story short, we couldn't find a parking spot. We drove over and over and over, but it was nowhere to be found. So long story short, we finally found one. It was in the 8th row from the back. Long story short, I knew it was the 8th row from the back because I counted. Like this. A 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and a 6, and a 7. Anyway, long story short, I counted all the way to 8, and so on. When leaving somewhere off like a herd of turtles. Bite your own butt. She had a few glasses of wine one evening and was snapping back at my brother about something. She had meant to say either bite me or kiss my butt and it came out as a slurred bite your own butt. We teased her mercilessly and it is now her signature catchphrase. I love her. Don't trust Whitey. Mom often says this as one of us is leaving her house. Sounds funny coming from a 74-year-old Midwestern white lady from a town that has never seen a black person. When mom was in a bad mood, and one of us would ask her what she was making for dinner, she'd say, fried a-holes. English is my mom's second language, which she learned in her late 30s, so there are certain things that she gets mixed up. My favorite thing she says that I find incredibly endearing is the welcome instead of you're welcome. It always makes me smile whenever I hear her say it, and I have even started using it with my friends, who have started using it too. Pretty solid band name emo. Please welcome. The welcome. If it was a snake it would have bit you. When I was looking for something in plain sight. Someone sneezes. Stop sneezing and go take an allergy pill. Nice, Ron. I'm tired of living in filth. She would say this every week while she was cleaning. By cleaning I mean that she rearranged the entire house to the point that no one could find anything. Also, the house was rarely ever dirty. If you don't stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about. Pretty universal. Mom, what's for dinner? Shit on a shingle. I have no idea where this came from. Shit on a shingle, or SOS, is actually a dish. Originated in the military, but people make it lots of ways. It's basically creamy gravy beef stuff on bread toast. Traditionally chipped beef and gravy, but my mom made it with ground beef and cream of mushroom. I like the play with the recipe a lot. Add some actual mushrooms, onion, bell pepper, garlic, and put it in a big honking piece of garlic butter Texas toast. And now I'm hungry. Let's blow this popsicle stand when wanting to leave. My mother is a well-educated, classy, and highly professional black woman. Every time she explains something, which is a lot, considering her knowledge, she follows up in the most ghetto voice. What you didn't know? Tongue click. I thought you knew. First name, middle name, last name. You get over here right now. Brother's name, other brother's name, father's name, random sputtering. Finally, first name, middle name, last name. My mom's always been an avid gardener, and whenever I felt down growing up she'd always say water the flowers, not the weeds. My mom chants we need a goal non-stop while watching hockey, like, for the entire game almost, though sometimes she says we need a goal my babies, to the dogs to shake it up a bit. Be a blessing, not a burden. Whenever something was done pretty poorly, but was acceptable, my mom would say good enough for government work. X horribly burnt cookies with the bottom scraped off, still tasted bad, but not awful. Ready, Freddy, my name is not Freddy, and yet, I said it to my daughter this morning before we left the house. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.